All-Star game coming up. Let's take a look at fan voting so far. Oh, look out west. Derrick Rose, Luka Doncic leading the fan votes over recent MVPs, James Harden and Kevin Durant. In the East, Dwayne Wade might be the biggest surprise. He's currently second amongst guards. The 37-year-old, of course, is a fan favorite and is retiring at the end of the season. Recently, some current players told us who their all-time starting five would be.
You want to start a fun debate?
And now, the starting lineup.
All-time starting five.
Oh, all right.
It's tough. It's super tough.
There's too many to choose from.
Well, that's an argument you can get from east to west.
So Nixon in low to Green, swing left, the right-hand skyhook of 12 is good.
Can't do a thing. Bird, turnaround, hit.
I think that's what the fans came to see.
MJ.
Brings it into a team. He goes!
I don't think I can pick five to do it justice.
And you gotta go by position.
Magic at the one.
I'm going with Magic.
Magic at the one.
Magic Johnson.
Magic for sure.
Magic Johnson.
Did he make a miraculous shot? Yes. Has he ever done it before? You bet he has.
My one of the
Steve Nash would be my one.
Kyrie Irving at the one. Jordan at the two. Michael Jordan.
MJ.
Mike.
Michael Jordan be a two.
Gotta go with MJ.
Jordan to the circle, puts the shot in the air. Go! The game's over.
I'll go Kobe at the three.
Kobe Bryant.
I'd have to go with Kobe.
I would say Kobe. I'm probably go with Kobe on the other wing.
Run out by Kobe Bryant.
I got LeBron at the three.
LeBron James, LeBron James.
At the three, I'll probably say LeBron.
LeBron at the four.
LeBron at the four.
I
gotta put the big fundamental in there, Tim Duncan. Probably Tim at the four. Timmy D at the four.
Birdman took a shot. Duncan throws it down.
I'm going with Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
I'll probably go with my boy KD at the four. Let's say Malone. Come on.
Dirk at the four. Dirt.
Hakeem Olajuwon at the four.
At the five, I'd say Wilt.
Wilt Chamberlain. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hakeem. Five would have to be Shaq.
Gotta go with the big fella, right?
The run out to Shaq.
I got Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq.
Shaq at the five.
And the debate will continue.
That's a list I gotta really think about.
I can say start six.
The starting six sounds like a really interesting idea because all-time starting five is different than the top five discussion, right? Because you're factoring position and fit and just guys you want to pick. So Sekou will allow you to go first.
Well, I agree with a lot of those guys. I don't think you can start a team in this league or in this game without Magic Johnson at point guard. To me, that's just a no-brainer. Michael Jordan, the GOAT, as my two guard. Or if we're going to play positionless, why don't you give me KD and LeBron at the forward spots and then give me the guy who I think cradle to the grave, coach, the greatest player in the history of the game, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, holding down the middle.
Well, I like a lot of the people on your team.
I would hope so.
I think they probably could have a decent game against our team. Okay, because
So who you got to beat this team then?
well, let me explain something to you. Everybody's thinking about small ball and shooting threes. I'm going the other direction. I'm going to beat everybody up and then never get an offensive rebound. And we're getting, if we miss a shot, we're getting all kinds of offensive rebounds. But I want you to see my team, which is a special group of guys.
Wow.
Okay, you see my group out there? You got Shaq, you got Chamberlain, you got Bill Russell, you have Kareem, and I borrowed Tim from the power forwards to bring the ball down the floor. We're playing 2-3 zone. We're switching everything. If you decide you're going to foul us, put us on the foul line, we might be a little shaky at the foul line with that group, but you're going to have to foul us so many times, your players will be left in the game to play against us. So watch out for my team.
Coach, we're not playing in the backyard now. We actually got to play a real game with referees.
Come out and play against us. Show up. My guys will be there. Show up.
That is incredible because Sekou, I kind of anticipated that. So you're playing Shaq at the five, right? I'm hoping.
Shaq can play wherever he wants, wherever he wants to be.
Kareem at the four, Wilt at the three, Timmy at the two.
Tim's at
Bill Russell's running the point.
No, Timmy's my point guard. He can handle a little bit. Well, we'll just pass it up. We'll just throw lob passes up the floor.
That's truly positionless basketball right there, Chris. That is positionless basketball at its finest right there.
That is a phenomenal game.
And I didn't tell you my first two subs, by the way, okay? Akeem Olajuwon, and then Moses Malone behind him. Those are the other two coming off, just to let you know.
I mean, you can at least have a shooter like Dirk Nowitzki.
I got Steph coming off my bench as my sixth man, so we're going to get some shooting on the floor. As soon as we run these big boys, tired, get them tongues out.
Look, there's Jordan
then we're
over
going to shoot the lights out.
Okay.
You guys are in trouble.
No debate.
Jordan to shoot another over another
debate
big
right
fella.
there with me.
We
no
may
debate.
get 4 shots every time we miss at the basket. Remember that.
So, yeah, no point guard love for me.
I'm just going big.
Wait, Magic's a tall point guard.
I'm going big. I
Coach
got my
going
guys.
big, we're going home, and when we get our hands on them, they're going to be going home. Simple as that.
Sekou's thinking his team's going to win. That'll be a tough one. I think you'll have the wins in the post, you'll have the wins in the perimeter. There are 11 NBA games on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Start your day with us here on NBA TV. Knicks and Thunder take the court at 12:30, and it's a triple header on TNT, concluding with the Warriors and the Lakers. 5 of their last 6, so it's good for them to get the win. And for Philadelphia, they had won 5 of their last 6 at home. They're 19-4 at home this season, so a tough loss for them as they've been holding fort at home. Here's Paul George after the victory. So it is a long season, and you hear Paul George say it because OKC, they were riding the wave, playing well, climbing in the Western Conference, and then they hit this tough stretch. So to go on the road and get a victory like this and to hit a game winner, Westbrook fouls out, has another night struggling shooting from the field. What does that do for the team as far as morale is concerned to be able to get a victory when you've been struggling?
Well, it lets me know that Paul George is kind of that silent. We know it's, Russell's team, so to speak, as we say, but now that Paul George has been there for his second year, people understand what good of a leader he is and how he's trying to lead by example. And to your point, Chris, when they were 0-4, we thought something was wrong with him. Remember that when they started out 0-4 and Russell was hurt? We thought something was wrong with the team. They get healthy. Paul George reminds us on how good he really is. Russell starts to share a little bit more. Wait a minute, they're in the third? We didn't see them being in the third at the beginning of the season. So long season, you understand that your leaders have to lead and you have to try to play consistent basketball, and they're starting to do it.
Yeah, it's a 3D's point. I think it's Russell Westbrook's team, and he has dictated that Paul George is going to be our leading scorer. And once he made that decision, Paul George can be himself, and he's flourishing right in front of our eyes.
Talk about shot selection with Russell Westbrook. 8 for 21 from the field today on the season, shooting 41%, the lowest since his rookie season. Is that a matter of, okay, he's getting open looks and just missing them, or do you think that's poor shot selection as the major key there?
I think each night is a little different, but the nights he takes good shots, it seems like the offense flows better and he takes good decisions. And when things are bad, you're looking at it like, wait a minute, Paul George hadn't touched the basketball. The ball's not going from one side of the floor to the other. So when you watch some of these plays develop, you say, all right, this is going Russ being Russ. You get to your sweet spot. I'm not totally mad at that shot boost because he normally can make that. The question is how many times you come down in a row and just go to that same spot and shoot it. Now nobody's touching the basketball. There's no continuity, and that's when you get frustrated. And then he said, okay, let me calm down a little bit. I love the glass. I'm missing that too. So, when you think big picture with this team, when he takes better shot selection to make better decisions, everything flows better.
Yeah, they're a better team when he makes good decisions. And for him, I think it's all, like you said, it's different every night. Some days he's got it going, some days he doesn't have it going. One thing that he always does, though, is get his teammates involved. And that's something I can appreciate as a big man who needs the point guard to get the ball to you. But for them moving forward, especially when the postseason gets here come April and May, you got to always make the right decision, because if you don't, it can really bite you in the butt.
And you say a big that needs a point guard to get you involved. Nowadays, we got a guy like Ben Simmons who is getting people involved on the perimeter, but also playing as a big. That's really been working out well for Philadelphia. We know they lost this game, but they still had 28 assists coming into this one. They had 78 assists in their previous 2 games.
Wow.
That's the best 2-game stretch for the 76ers since 1982. How is that working so well with Ben Simmons working from the post and getting guys involved?
Well, I think Brett Brown has done an excellent job, in my opinion, to cancel out the naysayers and keeping him away from the three-point line. At 6'10", whoever guards you, you should dominate your matchup by going to the post and the mid post. And then when they start double teaming, now you can be Brian or Magic or be whatever because you're so tall you can see over the double team and pick people apart. The only thing I will challenge him with when I saw him the other night, Booze, is get your free throws together.
Yeah.
Because as you get into the playoffs and people start fouling you and you're a liability, we saw, I think it was one game last year in the playoffs, he was like 2 of 12 or something crazy. That's where you hurt your team the most. The three-point shooting, I think we overtalk. But when you're a late game situation, you got the ball, now it's hack or bend because they're going to send you to the free throw line, and that means Joel Embiid, less touches for J.J. Redick on down, less touches for Jimmy Butler. That's where I think Ben Simmons needs to continue to work on his game.
When trying to defend a player like that, as far as a guy that's going to have the height advantage over you, but still going to be looking to pass and can finish around the rim, how difficult is that to defend?
No, it's tough. I remember being in Utah and going against the Lakers when they had Lamar Odom, who was 6'10", can handle the ball very well, get the rebound and bring it up himself. He was very similar, could score, can make plays for his teammates. And that's what Ben Simmons does. He gets the rebound, he takes off. He's like a one-man fast break, but he's a phenomenal playmaker with great vision and with that height. So it's very tough for opposing power forwards. Do you put the power forward on him? Do you put the point guard on him where he takes advantage of you in the post? So he's a matchup nightmare. The one thing, like 3D said, is if he can get his free throws down and if he can get a consistent, like 16, 17-foot jumper, it don't have to be a three, but if you could take a step in, knock that down consistently, it takes him even higher.
All right, here's Brett Brown following that Philadelphia tough loss against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
What do you think of the last look there in the game?
The one where Ben dribble handoff to Jimmy. You know, I thought we were trying to create an environment where Ben could attack as best he could, keep the court spread. He cut the driving line off and, you know, ran a dribble handoff to Jimmy. We were out of timeouts at that stage. Really, at that point, you're begging, like, you know, 5 seconds left, no timeouts. You're trying to get whatever you can. And I'm backing Ben Simmons on the fly. I wish we got it out of bounds quicker to create more of an environment that was moving and a little bit more disorganized. But there's a lot of stuff that went on before that.
What went into the decision to trap out of that, after dribbling the free throw?
Yeah, just we were out of timeouts. You know, you never feel comfortable, I don't, letting somebody just dribble down a clock and them getting the last shot. I don't like doing that. And so you got choices. You can either hit it while it's static and they can see you coming, or you can do it sooner and try to take advantage of doing stuff early so you have more clock to use from our end. And we just decided to do it sooner. The concept I would keep, you know, then you have decisions on what level do you do it. We decided to do it in full court, and it's a little bit easier after a free throw.
You expect him to go to Paul George there, I would assume, with Russell out of the game?
Yeah. You know, and we talked about it. There's two looks that they are good at. That's one of them. And they did a good job of getting in the ball, and he made a tough shot. Jimmy was all over him. You know, it's a tough shot. We give Paul credit. And there was a lot of good stuff Jimmy did going down. You know, we had the you know, sort of a 2-for-1 in our world where he just caught it and pulled it baseline, you know, scored out of that, had the dribble up 3, had the steal, you know, with the trap that we're talking about. I thought Jimmy was huge, you know, when it mattered most, and Paul George made some tough shots. I thought the call with Paul that, you know, maybe travel, maybe didn't, but the defense was still, in this environment, pretty solid. That's a tough call.
Like you said, Brett, just a lot of positive things that were happening down the stretch with your guys, too. And you coming out of this at the end with a loss, how do you categorize? Like, are you happy with just what you saw, you guys, the fight tonight?
I thought physicality, they got the better of us in the first half. Their physical team, you know, they really are long, athletic. Steven Adams is just so, you know, much strength, brute force strength. The offensive rebounding hurt us. His offensive rebounding that they kicked out to Ferguson for the 3 maybe was as painful as all of them. You know, I'm sure when we go back and look at things, with less emotion than we all have now. You're going to find a lot of good things. At the moment, it's a tough loss.
For Joel to step up and hit those free throws at the end of the game, I don't think he had shot very well from the line up until that.
That's right.
So what does that say about him to just be
I think that he just is looking forward to beating them. You know, we've had tough games with them here in Philadelphia, and I feel like he was probably, anxious to get that first half. There were things that he could have done, probably differently, and I thought that the way he responded, especially in the fourth period and in that environment, I thought it showed a lot of character stepping up to the line and making those shots.
What was just the range of emotions for you there in the final 25 seconds as the game kind of swung back and forth 4 or 5 times?
Yeah, I mean, you learn to sort of just stay pretty steady. For me, my pain is always at 3 in the morning. When you sort of wake up and you realize that's when it hurts the most. And you move on. I'm proud of the way that we're playing. I'm really proud of our cohesion. I think that there is a spirit amongst our group that at times previously we didn't have. And, as long as we hold on to that, then we can do wonderful things. We can do wonderful things. And tonight, we came so close to stealing a game in pretty dramatic fashion, in a very aggressive way, in a team way, with players making big plays. But it just didn't go our way, and we'll continue to try to just grow the fabric of the team is what you hear me say the most loudest.
Two more guys. Because the defense just said, Ben gave the ball up, we were both going over here to Jimmy, and we know Ben's not going to shoot it. Only thing he had to do was slip. We thought it was only 2 seconds. 5.1.
It's a lot of time.
5.1 is a lot of activity could have happened there. So that's what we're trying to help Ben for the next evolution of him being a great player is that forget about the 3. Just get a 15, 14-footer, little floater from there. Now you extend the game more basketball.
On the flip side of that, to your point we just talked about off camera, teams are starting to scout Jimmy Butler and the Sixers. They know he hit 2 big game-winning shots from that spot. You saw OKC trapped him right there, made it tough for him to make a play. And with Ben just standing there, if he slips to the hoop, like 3D said, he has a wide-open jumper.
And look, we all understand that Ben Simmons is a really good, if not great player in the NBA already. But as you're saying, for him to become a threat to just hit a 15-foot jump shot in clutch situations, that just makes him that much more dangerous.
That much more dangerous, that much more better, and then we will stop saying he's a liability in the last 3 minutes of the game because now teams are going to foul him or teams are going to leave him wide open or they're going to say, oh, we know JJ can shoot. Right. We're going to stay with JJ until you make a shot. We're not rotating. We can stay with, with Joel Embiid and they're rotating and double teaming off of his man.
It's a tough road ahead for the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's look at their upcoming schedule.
Ooh,
and look at the records, the teams they're facing. All above 500.
All above 500, yeah.
And even
above 500.
Even the Sacramento Kings is a tough game nowadays. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, you say, oh, we can take, that's chicken noodle soup. No, that's beef and potato now. You better bring a spoon.
Yeah.
The Rockets with James Harden, the Spurs, one of the hottest teams in the league. The Nuggets, top team out west. The Lakers, LeBron James should be back for that. The Warriors, we know who they are. Like you said, the Kings, Raptors, most wins in the NBA. Nuggets again. Lakers with LeBron. And then the Celtics, who are also headed in the right direction. Philadelphia basically playing a playoff schedule, moving ahead. And the Warriors just got this guy, Boogie. We look back on his big night next. You're watching.